Okay, let's go. Our first recording. You look so serious.
I
I know we got to plow through this one. I'll probably be a little uncomfortable, probably more for you than for me. I'm in front of the camera all the time. But the thing is, what are we? Why are we here? Let me kick it off, and then you're gonna start injecting your thing. And at any time, if you wanna stop me, just stop me and share your thoughts on anything that we're talking about. Is that cool?
Sounds good.
All right. So I know I originally sat down and just drafted some ideas. Why are we here? It's all about weight loss. In my notes, I know that I wanted to just give like for anybody that may be watching this. I know friends or family members have been like asking for like when we're doing this, when we're losing weight, when the scale is showing the right numbers, and when we get a little happier. They keep asking questions, so this is really our attempt to like document our story. Today is August 18th. It's 12:16 right now, 2024.
4.
uh, See, that's why I need you here. And we just want to, instead of asking the same question, the same question over and over, this is a good way to just kind of document it as we go for the next, I don't know what our goal is, half a year, 12 months. We'll see where we land. But this could be our only recording. Who knows? But the thing is, we're going to try to document this. And first, I think we should just kind of start with like super quick intro to like, who are we? So obviously, we're a couple, and Marcin and Joanna, or Asha for short. But I'm 48, and you are
47.
47. So we have a family. We have two kids, two daughters, and one is 11. The other one is 13. And we're just trying to get healthier, right? I mean, it's
Yeah, that's
uh,
our main goal, to be
yeah,
healthier.
get healthier and like shed some pounds, but like don't get nuts. Like we're not at the point in our life, I think, when you're like 26 to 30, it's all about the beach body and all this stuff. And I think for us right now it's just you know
About feeling better, number 1.
but feeling better. I know you have you're kind of looking all over the place in terms of like the hormonal changes in your journey. Can you say like, I don't know, a couple things about that? Like what are you chasing? The information and
Yeah, so I started with the issue of going into premenopause, the weight sticking around, not being able to lose it, and looking into sugar, how sugars affect everything in our body, from our hormones to our moods to how long we're going to live. Um, so that's what I'm concentrating on.
yeah, and I know in our past, going kind of into the next bullet was like we've tried different things. I don't know. We did like the 4 hour body thing with the slow carbs thing. I know what were you doing? You were doing Weight Watchers, right?
I did Weight Watchers for a while when I was younger, in my 20s, and that worked.
Yeah.
Um,
How did you like it? Like was
I
it?
liked it. I did it for a while. I did it for almost a year.
Yeah.
Um, it worked. Then we went into we did the 4 hour body, which is
Yeah.
low carb.
Yeah.
Uh, then we went into keto. We did
Yeah.
that for a while. I had some good results with that too, but it was just hard to keep up, especially with kids and just just living that lifestyle was not for me.
Yeah. Because it's a lot of like number juggling, right? Like what's the, if you had to like Weight Watchers and 4 hour body, the low carb, we follow P90X diet for a little bit, but all
Yeah.
of these involve like calculations and measurements, right?
Well,
Be,
the 4 hour body was the one that was a little bit easier out of them all, I think.
right, and I think 4 hour body is the closest to kind of what we're doing now without just kind of sharing what we are doing now, right? So we'll
Right.
get into details, but I think what we are doing right now is sort of the easiest out of everything we have tried. Would you agree or no?
Correct. It's the easiest. It's the one that we've done for the longest time,
Yeah,
um, and the results came easier, um, and we felt better.
yeah,
Big change.
yeah.
You feel better much quicker.
Totally agree with you. Um, so over since I've mentioned a few things that we did in the past, but like we both come from a background. We I got here when I was 18. You got here to the States. When I say here to the United States, is how old were you?
I was 9.
9. But we do come from homes where a conventional way of eating, right? A lot of carbs, a
Correct.
lot of breads and rolls, and I
Yes.
don't know, flour. It's kind of similar for you and me. And over time, we were able to sort of change that. Like when we moved out, we more kind of our diet more focused on not the maybe so traditional, but like we segued into this. We were eating more meats, more veggies, fruits. I know you were more kind of conscious about this stuff. How do you feel about it?
Well, it was a different lifestyle change. It was a lifestyle change. Coming
Yeah,
from home, eating potatoes and breads, you had bread and potato with almost every meal.
yeah,
Um, that was the basics. To moving on to including more veggie in almost every meal,
yeah,
um, and to include more fish. We started eating.
yeah,
Um, and just paying attention, knowing the difference between a fat, a carb, a good carb, a bad fat, sugars, and all that stuff. So,
yeah. Yeah, like food was food, right?
correct.
There's really no looking into the details and reading labels and stuff like that. But the like our way of eating right now, it's not really sophisticated. Like it doesn't really
So
require a
simple.
lot of. I think the old way of eating required more knowledge on how to like prepare food and do it certain way, right?
Correct.
Now when we eat steak or fish, it's like you add seasoning, you toss it on the grill. So it's like I feel right now it's like you do most of the cooking, obviously, but would you say it's easier for somebody
Our
that's like, oh my god, am I going to be able with my cooking abilities to to kind of
correct.
follow that?
Our eating now is simple, with the least amount of ingredients as possible,
Yeah,
um, and quick. We're always on the run with the kids.
yeah,
Both of us work full time. Kids are full time involved in things.
yeah.
Um, So it's got to be quick, and it's got to be easy and easy to digest as well.
All right. Um, do we want to talk about vices? So things that like as of right now, I know before typically when people consider changing their losing weight and just in general. I know that they are probably concerned. Oh, my camera will come back in a second. Um, People are usually concerned about things like sweets and alcohol and carbs. Like I know you've been talking about like breads and rolls and cakes and cookies and
Oh,
all that stuff, right? Um, what are your thoughts around that? Like getting rid of that or having less of that?
I think we all have them. I think that after you learn how to eat properly, it is okay to have something once in a while, but
Mm-hmm.
it shouldn't be your main course. Should it substitute a course? And if you know the right way to eat this, the proportions, and when to eat it, it's possible. But that takes time to get there. And you can completely live without them or substitute them with something else. I'm a bread lover, roll lover to everything, and I'm able to do it. So can you.
Yeah, yeah, true. Um, for me, I know the big vice before was alcohol. I mean, sweets. I'm not like a bread like you, but sweets were huge. Sugar in general, I think,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm gonna hit it from a different angle. When people talk about like habits, they say small changes for like
Mhm.
a period of time. So So when we did that originally, it's not like we kind of overnight quit smoking, right? That's a hard thing to do. But we gradually started cutting less and less. I know you were like with kids, you were more sensitive. Hey, less sugar, because we need to make
Yeah.
sure that they are okay. And I think over time that kind of got us to the point where it's like you get less and less and less, and we just sort of adopt to the new way of eating, right?
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
like changing our culinary preferences, stuff that we were eating at home. Um, uh, the next thing I wanted to mention was like we said, health. That's the sort of main reason behind doing this thing. Um, I will I will start with sort of a list, because the list is like it's pretty significant in terms of like what is it that I was experiencing prior to, because we just have to set a foundation right now. Like we did this already. Like we went through a cycle of 6 months of like being on target with the way we eat. We
Yeah.
saw the differences, we saw the changes, and then we went back and did a comparison of 6 months of like just like this okay living, like not really caring, maybe having an ice cream in here, and like we saw what happened, like the implications of that, because the weight went up. It didn't go up like nuts, but it did go back, right?
Yep.
And now we're like, all right, we're gonna do it again the right way, and just kind of show and continue how this should be done and how it should be cultivated and how
Yeah.
our lifestyle will be. So going back to like when we started, right now we are at this stage where like we lost weight. I lost 75 pounds initially. You were at how many pounds?
I don't
35,
remember
36?
percent, but about 30, or around 35 somewhere.
Yeah, so that's pretty big. I mean, you obviously you're lighter than me, so that's going to be much less weight. In terms, we can't really compare the numbers. Seems like our dog agrees,
Yes.
but that's where we are. So our weight. I originally started like day one when we started a year ago, was 311, and I dropped to like 235, and then I went up again. But back to what I was saying about health, like what happened during that time. For me, I'm just gonna do a list. So like sleep, it was horrific at 311. Like a lot of dreams, tremors at night, like not getting enough of sleep. At least I felt like it. Waking up with some sort of like some GI issues, like either indigestion or swelling or whatever. So like sleep was important. Joint pain whenever I would get up, my feet or my knees or whatever. So another problem there. I had inflammation issues. My belly would always be like so huge just because of the digestion. Because I had a habit of eating late at night. Um, Sleep apnea, which is the CPAP machine. Like you saw me wearing it for a couple months. I was sleeping with the machine on. I know there are people that hate it, but like for me, it was just an okay experience. Probably because it was like doing so much good that I could sleep better.
Yeah.
The metabolism was slow. Elevated blood pressure, although mine wasn't like spiking up, wasn't huge, wasn't a problem. I was never on medication, but it was higher than like normal. Like a good one would be 180 over. I'm sorry, what is it? 140 over 80 or 120 over 80? Is that what it is? And mine was like 140 something over 90 something. So that was another thing. Low testosterone. As a guy, I had a kind of issue with that because the libido goes down and the sexual drive and all that stuff. So I definitely noticed a difference there. Um, is it called psoriasis, like skin issues or whatever? I know a lot of.
It's dry patches of skin everywhere.
Yeah, and it's the weird thing because it was either like elbows or even on my face, on my eyelids, or so that was another thing. Depressive states, like when you're heavy, is how it's much more difficult to get yourself out of the spiral.
Yeah.
Headaches, not as severe as you. You're going to talk about yours. Nerve issues, like with my lower back problems or something radiating down my leg or behind my knee, or GI issues. I mentioned bloating. I mentioned Swallowing, like my hands, literally, I would wake up and it would just itch all the time. Um, Congestion, could not breathe at night. I mean, like we would drop temperature to like 68, and with hopes that that would help, but like congestion would always be a problem. Allergic symptoms, any sort of itching or responses to like weather or whatever, that would be much higher. Um, eh, Stress, obviously, because you're more stressed out. I mentioned the depressive states, lower back issues. I mentioned, and then I couldn't walk like a flight of stairs without getting kind of winded. And I know when COVID hit, I mean, you saw me, like I kind of took it
Yeah.
hard. Where, for anybody that doesn't know, like I did 17 years of weddings, never missed a wedding. And when COVID hit, when I got hit, impacted, like I was literally at the airport, laying on the floor, and I took a hard that took me hard. So impacted me in this way, where I actually had to trade with another photographer too, because I was simply incapable of doing it. Like this is the state I was in. So my thing was, when I started, was like, okay, how many can I alleviate and get rid of with this loss? And I'll talk. Most of them are gone even now with this not perfect weight, but like lower weight. So it's huge. And I'll talk about details in some other episode when we talk. But what on your end? Do you have a list of things that you wanted to get rid
Yeah,
of?
most of the things were similar as yours, of course. But I did had very bad inflammation. It's very common for women middle age in premenopause or menopause to form this like a donut around our belly, and mine was horrible. That's the first place where I gain weight. I keep it there the longest, but it was all inflamed and just uncomfortable to move. My I get migraines. My migraines were way worse. I got into at least twice a month, 3-day migraines. Really slows you down, and you miss out on a lot with that. With premenopause, my hot flashes kicked in. Horrible time sleeping because of the hot flashes, as well as during the day, the hot flashes. On top of that, my blood pressure was way higher than Marson's. So I had lots of issues with that. Along with that, horrible stages of falling into deep depression. Deep depression, again, it's not clinical depression, but depression enough where you just don't want to do anything. You just want to not even exist, sort of. So mood swings, horrible mood swings. We had a couple episodes in the house where my mood swings just came on and nobody knew what the heck was going on. The next day, I didn't even know what was going on. And one thing led to another, one book, something that I learned here, something I learned there. I figured out where this is all coming from and how this eating actually makes it worse and influences all these depression states. Yeah, so that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot, and like you said, a lot of things will overlap, right? The stuff that I
Correct.
mentioned. Did you mention migraines? Did that
Yes,
improve?
yes, yes. My migraines, the like I said, they got it to the habit of being 3-day long migraines at least twice in a month.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So that,
basically couldn't. I ran out of prescription medication in order to use this, and the insurance wouldn't even give me more medication.
so overall, you saw like I said, in the end, most of mine were gone when I dropped the weight. Is this the same for you? Like, did you get rid of most of them, half of them? Like, what?
So once it takes out with the migraines were the most debilitating things that were occurring, and my depression. It took the longest time, but I saw the best results with the migraines. I had about 3 or 4 months where I didn't even have a migraine. If I had a headache, I took my Excedrin and I was fine. Um, and the mood really di- got better. Traumatic. That was a very big difference, along with hot flashes. Most of them just went away.
Yeah. And we talk about a lot of like changes in our bodies, but it's like almost like physical or physiological changes. But there is, how did you feel, like how did you mentally feel in the first 6 months, as the weight was going down? Like it felt pretty good, right? Like as the more you lost, right?
Yeah, it felt good, and it almost got to be a game. At some points, I didn't even stop kind of tracking because
Yep.
you build it into your everyday life that you're not doing this for the weight, you're doing this for feeling better, and you felt better when you didn't eat, so just kept going,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll get. Sometimes I know
which
we're
is
going to mention. Go ahead, say it again.
which is amazing because that's not what we're taught. We're taught to
Yeah,
keep
yeah, yeah,
eating, right? You don't
yeah,
feel good, eat.
yeah. Sometimes we're going to mention things here. Even this morning, you were saying like a 24-hour thing, and it's like for somebody that's just starting, we're going to try to do to kind of introduce everybody into like those segments. We'll take it one step at a time. We're not going to be talking about 24-hour period of fasting if you're just on day one. Like that's so we want to make it very manageable. What we're going to document is basically we're doing this kind of together, quote unquote, so that everybody can see the changes and see that we're not really rushing through this process, that we're taking it step by step. So when we're going to talk about probably in next episode, like what's the first thing that I should do, like will gradually increase, the both the knowledge and the tactics behind like what needs to be done and the different steps, right? So okay, so that's good. So we are starting, I know we in our bedroom on a wall we actually have like a mini poster with like numbers, because we're making this our priority, right? So it's there. I hate other things hanging on the wall in our bedroom because I'm more I don't know, meticulous. uh, but we're prioritizing this. We have a poster, we have numbers. My weight, starting weight, I have to cheat, I gotta look at my phone, um was 276.4. I don't know if camera can pick it up. Not really.
No,
That's okay.
yeah,
That's okay. We'll post some screenshots maybe in the next next round. But it was 276.4. And my goal was under two. My end goal is under 210, which is absolutely nuts because when we got married in 2010, I was 216. I remember measuring myself before the wedding. 210 is like my high school weight, or like around that time. So where are you now and what's your goal?
so yeah, when we started this, we're into second week. I was almost at 202, and my end goal is 165, which puts me about at my college weight.
Okay, pretty cool. Um, and then uh, anything you would like to add at this point? Anything on your mind?
At this point, no.
Yeah.
I
Um,
mean,
so the reason
I think we
basically
should
what
share what we're doing, right?
I'm sorry again.
I think we should share what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So right now the reason for this, all this background info, I know it's not tactics on what do I do to lose weight, but it's more for us to like set a foundation, because eventually if somebody's looking at a material like this, they want to see if they can relate, because this is not definitely like, if this material was to help somebody, it would be for somebody that's like an athlete trying to trying to diet along with us. This is for, let's call it a normal people, normal parent, right? That's overweight, right? With some goals of like, hey,
Correct.
I gotta drop some weight and improve my, as I get older, improve my mental and physical being, right?
Like, along, yes, and along fixing maybe also some problems that your whole family. This whole change can help your whole family, not only you.
When you say whole family, you mean like immediate, like kids
Eating
and
cleaner.
yeah.
Yeah,
So what's our plan? I just want to like just very high level. So we're planning on posting every week, right?
correct.
Most likely Saturday. Just going like this and providing our updates and sharing exactly what we're doing, right? Just so somebody can copy paste.
Yes, that's the plan.
Um, okay. Um, eventually, I know you were planning on having some people like join you just so you can test out, because eventually your plan is, because I'm being transparent, is to come up with like this sort of like an online course guide for somebody that would be able to like to join you, and you can either one-on-one or like in a group environment to kind of walk them through. So eventually down the road, and some at some point, you're looking at like maybe having 5 or 10 individuals join you, just so you could like come up with the material. They can,
Direction. Yeah.
yeah, they can help you sort of form and build this product, right? So
Correct.
so you those people will be sort of like founders of your class and course. So that's later. Nothing on this right now. But that's the plan. So it's going to be a weekly video, and probably as we go along, the weekly videos are not going to be enough. There's going to be material that's going to have to be presented uh, throughout this experience. So we're probably planning on putting together either like a Facebook group or like a Facebook page, and that's where this stuff will end up.
Yes.
All right.
That's
Um,
all slowly in the works. Week by week, we'll share
we
more information. And
yeah, perfect. Um, Anything else? Oh, and if we do have the Facebook page, we will ask folks to like, because maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe some people are not fans of this way of like losing weight, or maybe they're looking at more aggressive ways, or maybe they're
yeah,
younger, or maybe they're older. But maybe they do know somebody that would take benefit of this, or can relate to our story. So we'll probably ask them to like share, whatever we're sharing online. So that'd be cool. I think we're good for right now. For in terms of like spoilers for next time we get together, what are we gonna talk about next time? And just if we can mention one thing, like where is the focus?
the focus is how do we start this?
How do we
What do
start without
we do?
complicating? Like we're not going to be talking about detail, any sort of measurements or nothing. It's just like what's
Correct.
the for somebody that's starting totally fresh. Let's pretend somebody just sees us for the first time, right? Never tried to lose weight. It's like kind of what's my first thing that I can do today to get going on this journey, right?
Yes.
All right,
Yep.
cool. So I think we have a plan. I think it went well. It's for others to judge, but I think we're good. And we'll do it again next weekend.
Yep.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
See you, everybody.
Bye.